Good evening, all. I'm Epstein, and here you are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for August 1st. It is hard to believe, August 1st, 2023. You know, I was just listening to Chicago TV. 20 days from now, the kids in Chicago public schools go back to school. Would you believe the summer's basically over when you consider that? Other areas I know are even going back earlier. I heard that in parts of Indiana and some. So kids are really going back very fast. I remember when I was a kid, it seemed like we didn't go back until September, but times have changed. So we saw AMD come out today. They too were a beat. So we had Intel do a beat recently, and now AMD's doing better. Starbucks, a little bit of a stumble. Not a big one. It depends how you want to look at the numbers, but the stock was down about 1.5% in the aftermarket. You know, I still don't get how people go in and buy multiple Starbucks daily, and I see it in my own neighborhood. I don't get it. I mean, you are really talking spending $300 or more a month on coffee if you did that every day. I have such a hard time with that. I watch my money, I guess, too hard, and it just seems crazy to me. To me, it's a real luxury. Honestly, if I get a Starbucks or two a month, it's a lot. There are months I don't get any. I just feel wrong about being charged that kind of money. All right. So as we look at the market, it's very much a mixed bag. I still like what I'm seeing in the energies. I don't think that they're in trouble there. Tesla backing off a little bit, $6. Metal market's getting hit. Why? Couple of things. Number one, you do realize there's a huge refunding about to take place this week. We're going to see that the Treasury has to get from $96 billion up to about $102 billion. They'll blame the Biden administration, not the Biden administration will blame the Trump administration. This is all their fault because why not? And as you saw, President Trump, a third indictment. So the money he's raising, and it's a ton of it's going to lawyers. And it's just going to keep going. And obviously, 2.5 years later, they waited for this. If you don't think that's politics, does the Biden administration and the current government think we're all foolish? Is something I always ask myself. We know it's politics. Airline stocks down a little bit too. Alibaba backing off. So when I look at Intel, I've been telling you I thought the market was going to try. I don't know if it'll succeed or not, but I think it's going to try to fill this circle that you've got there, the gap in the chart. When we look at moving averages, you can fall down to support, and it comes in right now around 34.15. But that number is going to rise tomorrow. So it'll probably move towards, it's moving at about 17, 18 cents a day. So it's probably going to be around the 34.30 level, something like that, which helps it as it gets up closer to where this gap comes in. When we take a look at why the market's backing off, what do you think the odds are of staying over a Bollinger Band, these black bands? You know, you can do it 3-4 days in a row. It's uncommon to do that, but you can do it. Beyond 5's real uncommon. And just staying over or under the bands only 5% of the time. However, the key is to understand that when a band goes sideways, eventually it has to push that band out one way or the other, and that's when the trends develop in the market. So the trend is up in this, as I see it at least, until you get back under this low around 33.40. Momentum-wise, you got overbought, you're correcting, you either embed or you correct when you get into this type of area. If you correct, more downside in order to get those numbers away from the 80 number. In Rivian, why do you think the market is stopping its rally right here? If you don't see the Bollinger Band, something wrong. But a bigger event is happening. If this market can't push out over it, what's happening is the band is crunching in. Do you see how that's happening? It means volatility is also coming out of the market at this point in time. So we'll wait and see just what's going to happen and why that is taking place. In the gasoline fund, I still like gasoline. I haven't seen any sign yet that energy is going to give us a price break. Yeah, you'll get corrections along the way, but are you going to get a big change? I don't think so. You'd have to get the red line to close under 79 for me to think that. So I think the pros are hoping you get a further break in this market to buy into, and then you bail if you're under 79. You're nowhere near that right now. You're at a 90 reading, and still looking for the upper Bollinger Band. In XLF, the financial sector, backing off and lost the bullish reading. When you lose the bullish reading and you don't get it back right away, prices often make a run to the closest main moving average. Now, the key is not to take out the most recent high in the market, and that's the one up here that I'm viewing. So we'll see if the market can get down there. In XLI, the industrial sector, looking better and better. I mean, today I was looking at some of these numbers coming out from ISM and the other areas. I was impressed. Do we have a trough? That's really the key. It is not a turn up because these numbers aren't over 50 where you're seeing expansion in these indices. They're still in the 40s, but they're not diving anymore. So could this be where we start getting that? I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't think all this Fed funding that's going to happen, or the Treasury funding where they're going to go out and have $102 billion worth of debt is going to help because it drives interest rates up. Are any of you paying attention to what real yields are doing? Right across the spectrum for the past now 7 or 8 business days, almost daily, they're climbing higher. When this is done, this 102 billion or whatever the number turns out to be, I think that'll take some of the pressure off of that. In the video, what goes up must come down, and that's where we're at. We're spinning wheels. You like that? Pretty good lyric, right? And that's what you're doing right now. You're not moving back up here. You're just sort of hanging in, time for a bit of profit taking. I see big support here on the chart at the 452 level. We'll see what the market does if it can attack that. Coinbase just threw out new short sale numbers. I think they have an earnings report coming out this week too. Lower highs, lower lows. I wouldn't want to see the market back over 120 if I'm bearish, and I am bearish, as long as you don't get much through this area. I think the 9,700 level is what the pros want to sell, and I think they're looking for wherever the Bollinger Band comes in. You're not oversold at this point. In the home builders, all right, we have pent-up demand galore. So getting bearish these is difficult. Will you get corrections along the way? Yes. But as long as you have an embedded reading on each one of these breaks, if you've taken my enhanced Bollinger Band course, there is a key moving average that I use that tells you step into the market, come out if you lose the embedded reading and you look for higher prices. Now, one of the safeguards I also put on the chart, so you know, is I look very hard at what the weekly chart is doing along with the daily. So if I see a weekly chart is over the Bollinger Band, but the daily saying buy it, I walk away, because that 5% principle works on the weekly chart the same way. Only 5% of you over or above the Bollinger Band. On the energy sector, I'm very bullish. I think that you've got OPEC. They have us where they want us. They're going to keep right through August this decline in production. The economies of the world aren't getting worse. I hope you're noticing that. In fact, stock markets around the world are getting better. Central bank after central bank is starting to say, do we pause a little bit to see how things are going? That seems to be the mantra. We have Brazil coming out with their central bank. They've been a leader. Are they going to drop their rates? You know, everybody's talking about that. Lower low, higher high, but this rules the day, the embedded reading. So on these breaks is where I think the pros are buying the market, looking for higher numbers. No, I have a hard time wanting to be bullish the metals. Why? The dollar's going up because interest rates are going up and the economy is staying strong. That combination is, for the time being, bullish the dollar. That's a big headwind on gold. I can make an argument that you're going to make a run to the lower Bollinger Band before you take out the previous highs that you're seeing even here. I feel the same way in the silver. The market that got me confused, and I've admitted to you for 3-4 days, is nothing has been said by China as to what they're going to do. Let me tell you what they say. We're going to improve housing. And copper goes up on that? How are you going to improve it? Are you giving money to the lenders that are going bankrupt? They can't even float new debt issues. People won't buy them. I mean, there's real problems there. And yet the market takes off on that. You know, Goldman was the cause of that. I'm not saying they're wrong, by the way. Goldman said, hey, We think that what you do is you step in. We think that the price of copper will go up because China's going to do something. And I agree with them if China does something. I didn't hear anything. In all fairness, Goldman caught that play. I'm assuming they took some money off the table. Congrats. But I didn't see the logic of it until you know what they're going to do. TLT. All right. Why are you dropping? I'm going to repeat. I got rid of bond BND, by the way. We've swung back here to the 20-year. I have that as a 2. It's the 20-plus year bond ETF. I didn't realize that. I'll fix that in a short while. But you're down to the Bollinger Band. What do you do when you hit a Bollinger Band for the first time and you're oversold? You cover shorts. So the bears that are there, I think they're taking money off the table here. UUP, you're now back into challenging the 200-day average. See this gray line I'm pointing to and the Bollinger Band? So between here and the 28.45 level, another dime, I think the easy money's out of the market. I think the pros will cash in and step back a bit. That's what I'm expecting to see. And the flip-flop is if you can get down to the Bollinger Band and the 100-day average in green in FXE, I think this is short covering. That doesn't mean that I'm suddenly bullish or bearish. It means it's a spot to take some money off the table, and that's what I think is going to happen. Now, we have offerings galore for you. You're only seeing 6 of them. This page actually goes way down, and you see even more of these things as they go through with that. And you just go to our website under free offers. You click the ones you want. When you're through with it, you just put in your name, your email address. We get them out like that to you generally the next business day. Could I make it easier? No. Here's the form just so you can see how that all works. If you have notes for us, you write us right there. We'll know what to do with it, and we take it from there. But it's charting software. It's price counts. Something phenomenal if you're a trend trader and you're looking to see where a market might go to. The Arun indicator, the pivot point series I've created. I can go on and on because they're all there. So how do you work with it? It's simple. Just go to our website or move your cursor to the top up here. You'll see the word free offer. Give it a click. I'm Ira. You have a good evening.